This color is starting to develop now. It is to give it first grinding out a tabletop, and then give it a rough size reduction, because this thickness is not quite enough. Then finish flushing with a coarse plate. Now use a fine plate to grind the countertop to it more carefully. Now the grinding disc to it for polishing discs. Then polish the tabletop of the jewel, the first step in grinding gemstones. I am accustomed to the jewel of the tabletop first to it throw bright, and then this gem I left a bubble, but I did not want to grind that bubble good. You can see that the countertop has now been thrown bright. Then use fire paint now. Give it a sticky. Stick to the top of the sticky stone stick. Give it a fixed good 5. Then a little while before you can set the angle sanding. Then use the top flattening device to square up his joint. Then put an octagonal hand on it. Set it right and you can start polishing the crown. Now polish the first layer of the crown first. The first layer has 16 sides. This issue of this glass has 16 facets on each layer. Well can see now the first layer has been sanded. Then the next to play the second layer. It's also 16 sides. Just add a crossed face between two faces. This is a small triangular surface. There are also 16 sides. Then you have to add a triangular surface at the bottom there. The crown section has 3 layers. A total of 48 noodles were made. You can see the bubble. I was going to grind the bubble out of it, but since the comment section is often filled with those, say I started out with a stone. Then the back of the finished product said I was bought elsewhere to show. Say I bought it elsewhere to show. Then it just so happens that he has a bubble in this issue. That's the whole. Anyway, it is glass is not worth much, right? So I'll keep it for it. Just right to block the mouth of those who must bar. Now polishing. You can see that the bottom layer is now polished. Then the next step is to put the middle layer and the top layer, all polished together. Each side is polished separately, throwing one side by one side. Now the crown of the stone is polished. Then take off the polishing disc. Replace the copper plate, polishing the girdle of the stone. Keep rolling on the copper plate like this. You can see that the waste part of this gem is also shiny. Then now we have to take it off the fire paint to it. Then flip it over. -V. Turn it over and then glue it back. This process is so hot. 5. Because this fire paint has to be burned. It's what makes it sticky good. And now, after gluing, it's time to start polishing Handmade. The same goes for Handmade. Also the first layer with 16 sides. Then the second layer is also 16 sides. This Handmade has a total of 5 layers. That's a total of 80 sides. This stone has more than 100 facets. Good, now the second layer is also polished. That's how it is in. Open another side for him in the middle of the 2 sides. Just add layer upon layer. A total of 5 layers were made. Well can see now is the 3rd layer. Then the next is the 4th layer of sanding. It is to change the whole position back and forth. Then add a facet to it on top of the facet. Good, now the 5 layers have been polished. The next step is to polish it. It is also a layer of throwing. Each side should be given a bright throw. Give it a good polishing until there is no polishing lines. Now the first layer has been polished. You can see the polished and unpolished good are 2 completely different textures. Now throwing the second layer. You can see that the second layer is now polished. This glass grinding really super good looking. It's really like the feeling of shooting Liba, the full clean Patraiba kind. Really a Paraiba. It would be too rare. You can see that it is now thrown to the last level. Now throw this last layer to it as well. Well, the polishing of the stone is finished. Then now to take it off the fire paint to it. Every time you finish grinding a stone is an exciting moment. After taking it off, what about PC? Put the alcohol lamp cover good. Then put fire paint to give it a rub. Can't wipe clean. Just soak it in alcohol. Then give it out. give it a wipe clean, because alcohol can dissolve fire paint. Look at this effect is really super good looking. In the light, this is taken in the light box inside. Very good neon sense. You can see the little bubble is still there. This is completely polished out of that one glass. Good, and then look at the effect in natural light. Just have the sun in the window shot is also very beautiful. How about it? This $30 piece of glass. I am a big injustice rabbit species. See you next time. Bye, everyone.